This is a great stretch to do before you have an important phone call or a meeting or any other event that might bring some stress that you need to have a level head for. I have had this yoga mat out behind my desk for the past 3 years, and it has been amazing because I can go and just do this or some modification of this to prepare for anything. It's often the same routine I do after a workout or way before going to sleep at night. It's a combination of skills I've picked up from gymnastics, from yoga. For example, this pose is not a gymnastics pose because it stretches both the hamstrings, the glutes, and the back. And in gymnastics, you would have your legs straight. It includes also a lot of techniques I carried and picked up from physical therapy for issues that I've had. For example, plantar fasciitis, my IT band, my hamstrings, my lower back, and my neck. I've all been in physical therapy for. So this incorporates all of the physical therapy activities and movements that I was ever assigned. And so for me, it just works as a great full body stretch and mobility. I also love that I get a lot of blood flow. So if you have something creative that you have to do, this is also good for that. This one in particular is one I do not go a day without. You can do a modified, what is called cobra pose in yoga. This is a cobra, but I was also assigned this one in physical therapy for my hamstring. You can do a modified on your elbows if this is too difficult for you. And some days that's what I do. This one I do both with the knees open like this. It helps to open up the hips and the back, but I will also do it, like I'm going to show later, with my knees closed, which is one of the best poses for stress relief in general. This is something that it opens up the hips and helps to just feel everything in your body. If you do not have a yoga mat, you can use a rug or you can go outside and do a modification of this. This one is so good for the calves. I have had plantar fasciitis, and I know that my soleus is often very tight as well, which is the muscle inside your calves, which is very difficult to stretch, which is why you will bend your knees sometimes while in this one. I don't always lift my legs up, but it's a great hip opener and a quad stretch if you bend your leg. And now I'm going to go right back into the back stretch. The physical therapist had me doing this every night, just going up for 10 seconds and back down. But now I do it like this, and I just hold it for at least 30 seconds once a day. This is one that is actually often touted as a great one for stress relief because you are stretching everything from your heads all the way down to your knees. I often feel this actually in my hip flexors more than my back or my glutes. So it's definitely a really good one for relaxation and overall stress relief. Now I go into the straddle position and I actually stretch more in the QL area, which is the side from your glutes going all the way up to your armpit. I do get some stretch in the hips and the hamstrings, but that side stretch is really important, especially for moms. And then I go back up into the side stretch as well. And going back into then the other side, I first will just lift my arm up if I feel like it. Perhaps if I had gone for a run prior, my arm will go back down on the other side, so it actually goes all the way over. So I'll make an arch while I'm still doing the QL stretch. But it depends upon how warmed up I am, because you also don't want to hurt yourself stretching without having done a proper warm-up. When I was a gymnast, this looked a lot different. Now this is as good as it gets, and it does the job. Mobility is so important, especially if you want to gain or even retain muscle. So a lot of these are really, really important for that as well. This is good also for the hips, often called the butterfly position. In the past, my nose could go down to my toes, and that's not happening anymore either. But this was a good stretch for gymnasts and runners as well. This one is a variation of pigeon, otherwise known as the pigeon pose in yoga. This one is very difficult for me to hold. You might see me wincing, but it's so good for the hips. And it's one of those, again, where if I am fully warmed up, it feels a lot better. And I hold for 30 seconds. I count out the full 30 seconds. Of course, if I don't have that much time prior to a meeting, this one does not get held for very long and might even be eliminated. The ones that do not get eliminated, though, however, is the back stretch and the over the very first one, which was the overhead stretch. And now the other side. Depending upon what you do on each hip, which hip you use to carry a baby or a toddler, what you're doing, one side is always going to be a lot tighter than the other. And there was my wince again. But this is such a good one. And as a gymnast, we never stretched this part of our hips. We were going for flexibility in our movements, and this was not something that we needed because there were no gymnastic skills that required flexibility in this area. I have been to the physical therapist for my neck and upper back issues, so I never miss a neck stretch in a day. And these are what they prescribed me and what they told me to keep doing. And even though it's very, very simple, it goes a long way. The key is doing it consistently. Now this next one, I think I'm going to do, not quite yet, but this one is also very important for mobility. This next one, when I put my head back, you'll see me do the double chin action. I'm literally bringing my chin in and then going back. If you, this is a really good one for if you work at a desk in front of a computer, because we typically tend to put our chins and our whole faces forward and lean into the computer with our heads only. And so when you put your head back like that, especially with the double chin movement, you're actually going to get a better stretch. This one is the 45-degree angle going down on each side. Good for the lats, where a lot of people hold a lot of stress and energy and tension. This is an add-on if you feel it, if you've ever had any wrist issues, if you work on the computer, if you've ever had carpal tunnel or any of those other issues that refer back to ergonomics. This is definitely a very important one for me, but like I said, it's not one of the ones that I do daily. It's typically an add-on. But also very important for moms. My wrist actually started bothering me when I was early postpartum, the first 6 weeks, because I didn't realize just how much I was using my wrist. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you do this.